Have you ever known exactly what you needed to do and still don't do it? You paused, you observed, you became aware. You even knew the choice that was aligned for you. Yet somehow you stayed exactly here where you are. Why? Because awareness alone doesn't create change. Choice alone doesn't create change. Action creates change. And today we're exploring the last step of the sacred choice, the final step of the sacred choice process, the step that turns possibility into reality, the step that turns knowing into becoming action. I'm Naya Su, a soul resonance guide, and over the last several weeks, we've been walking the journey together. A journey from unconscious living to conscious living, a journey from reaction to intention, a journey from surviving life to actively participating in it, then observe, then curiosity, then choice. And today we arrive at action. Because sacred choice was never simply about becoming more aware. It was always about creating a life that reflects the truth of who and what you are. And that requires action. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what it means to stop waiting and start moving. So before we dive in, if you've been following this series and it's been landing for you, please take a moment right now to like the video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with someone that you love so that they can reach their highest potentials and possibilities aligned with their soul. It takes 2 seconds and it helps me reach more people who are ready for this work. Now, let's go. You've been on the journey with me, the pause, observation, curiosity, choice. You know what that progression feels like. You've practiced it. You're starting to understand it. This takes some time. Show some grace and some compassion for yourself. But here's the thing that nobody talks about. Choice without action is just a nice idea. It's a possibility. It's a wish. It's a dream floating around in your mind. And action is what brings it into the world. Action is what makes it real. Most people think they need certainty before they act. They need to feel confident. They need the guarantees. But that's all backwards. Confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence comes from action. Trust isn't built by waiting. Trust is built by moving, right? So do you understand what I'm saying? Smallest aligned step often creates more change than years of overthinking. One conversation, one boundary, one application, one text message, one honest moment, one decision. That's all it takes, because real change doesn't happen in giant leaps. It happens in consistent, aligned moments. And here's what I know from my own life. Sometimes the greatest risk isn't acting too soon. Sometimes the greatest risk is waiting too long. So let me ask you something. How many times have you known what was right for you and yet continued doing what was familiar? How many times have you heard the whisper of your inner wisdom and chosen comfort instead? No judgment here, just curiosity. Because every one of us has done it. Every one of us has stood at the edge of change and hesitated. Where in your life have you already made the choice internally, but haven't yet taken the action? Perhaps you've chosen peace, but haven't established the boundary. Perhaps you've chosen health, but haven't changed the habit. Perhaps you've chosen yourself, big deal, but haven't yet acted in honor of that choice. So, what action has been waiting for you? I want to share something personal with you because I think it will land this in a way that nothing else can. Okay. So, many years ago, I made an agreement with myself. I told myself that no matter what happened, I would stay until my youngest child graduated from high school, stay in a very unhappy marriage. Okay. And that was the contract. That was the line in the sand. No matter how unhappy I was, no matter how difficult things became, I would stay and wait. Let's just say I was in a very unhealthy relationship. Okay. Fortunately, life unfolded differently, and we left in 2005. I divorced this person in 2010, and life moved forward. My children grew up. And then in 2020, during COVID, we were sitting in the car waiting for my youngest child to walk across the graduation stage. And my oldest child turned to me and said, something I'll never forget. Ah, Mom, do you realize that if you stuck to your original plan, tomorrow would be the day you could finally leave? It just sat there because suddenly I understood exactly what she meant. And tomorrow, not years ago, not in 2005, not in 2010, but tomorrow. Wow. If I had stayed loyal to that agreement I made to myself years earlier, I would have waited another 15 years before taking action. Just think of that, 15 years. 15 years. Wow. And then something else hit me. I wasn't just seeing my own pattern. I was seeing my mom's pattern. Different circumstances, different people, of course, but the same underlying belief. Wait, endure. Put your life on hold. Sacrifice today for some future moment that may never come. And sitting there in the car, I realized something profound. Action changes lives. Not someday, not eventually, not when every condition is perfect. Action changes lives when we choose it. Had I waited for that imaginary future date, 15 years of experiences, growth, and life would never have happened. Everything that unfolded after 2005 would have remained unlived. Yeah, think about that. The awareness had been there. The understanding had been there. The choice had been there. But what changed my life was not only the awareness. What changed my life was not only understanding. What changed my life was not even the choice. What changed my life was the action. Changed our life, the action. Not saying it was easy. Not saying I wasn't scared and terrified. I was, I have to be honest. You know, being a single parent with 3 kids under 9, a little scary. So many people believe they need certainty before taking action. They believe they need confidence before taking action. They believe they need guarantees before asking or guarantees before taking action. But confidence doesn't usually come before action. Confidence comes from action. Trust doesn't usually come before action. Trust is built through action. The smallest aligned step often creates more change than years of overthinking, right? So just let that sink in for a moment. The smallest aligned steps often create more change than years of overthinking. It's a big deal. One conversation, one boundary, one application, one text message, one honest moment, one courageous decision, one breath, one action. That's all it takes to begin changing the direction of a life. Because change doesn't happen in giant leaps, it happens in consistent, aligned moments. Yeah? In conscious living. Conscious living. And sometimes the greatest risk isn't taking action too soon. Sometimes the greatest risk is waiting too long. Yeah. Does that make sense? Drop a comment in the comment section if that makes sense to you. You know? So here is what I want you to do right now, not next week, not next month, not when conditions are perfect. Just right now, ask yourself, what is one action I can take within the next 24 hours that would honor the choice I've already made? One action, just one. What would that be? Write it down. Seriously, write it down. Say it out loud. Make it real. Because the moment you name it, it stops being a thought and starts becoming a reality. And when I say write it down and read it out loud, I don't want you to read it in your brainchild. I want you to read it literally out loud to yourself. You hear every single word you wrote. Then you really hear what you wrote. Okay? So if this is resonating with you, please like this video and share it with someone you love so that they can reach their highest potential possibilities aligned with their soul. And please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Every subscription, every share helps me reach more people who are ready to stop waiting and start consciously living. So help me spread this message so more people can come into their own alignment. I'd really appreciate it. And I'm sure they will too. All right. As we bring the Sacred Choice series to a close, I want to leave you with this one final question. A question I want you to sit with long after the video ends. If nothing changed, if you continued acting as you are today, if you kept postponing the action you already know you need to take, where would you be 1 year from now? And more importantly, how would you feel? How would you feel? But the truth is, most people don't fail because they don't know what to do. Most people don't fail because they never act on what they already know. I know that sounds really harsh and that word fail is really low vibration. I get it. But just stick with me for a moment, all right? Most people wait for certainty. They wait for confidence, they wait for permission, they wait for the perfect moment. But that perfect moment rarely arrives. Life changes the moment we decide to move. Life changes the moment we decide, we choose to move. And when we pause, we create space. And when we observe, we create awareness. And when we become curious, we create understanding. And when we choose, we create intention. And when we act, we create reality. This is conscious living. This is sacred choice. Hey, if this series has supported you, please like, share, and comment, and subscribe so that someone you love can reach their highest potentials and possibilities aligned with their soul. Help me expand this channel and this message to every person who is ready to stop surviving and start consciously living. Although the Sacred Choice series is coming to a close, our journey is only beginning, because beneath every reaction, beneath every belief, beneath every pattern, beneath every choice lives something deeper, a feeling, a sensation, an energetic experience that often drives everything else. So, in our next series, Stop Reacting, Start Responding, Rewire Your Essence, we begin exploring exactly that. We'll be diving into 5 micro movements that rewire how you respond to life at the deepest levels. Self-care as self-prioritization. We're going to work on this thing of cup metaphor, the oxygen mask, the physiology of reaction versus response, and the hyper-intentional practice. Okay? This is where conscious living goes even deeper. This is where the real rewiring begins. So please, again, subscribe now so you don't miss that first video of the series. Because once you understand what's beneath the reaction, you understand everything. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next series, starting next Wednesday. Much love.